Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ram Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hare Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hare Gaura 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 Hare Gaura 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 Hare Gaura Nitai Gaura Hare 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 Gaura 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 Hare Gaura 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 Hare Gaura Hare Nitai Gaura Hare Nitai Gaura Hare Nitai Gaura Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
You like a little kid. Big smile. Front row seat. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschachade Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chit Prabhu Nityananda Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Amrita Kelly's been so focused on having this deity installation. It's like I've gotten more messages on that topic than almost any other topic. Utsahan. Nishchaya too. Utsahan. But here it is. Some time ago, the last place I was visiting, I was asked at a news center. There's a news center in North Atlanta called ISKCON of North Atlanta. And they have large deities. It's a rented storefront with large deities. And I don't know how they plan to take care of the deities because it's a new congregation. And I have some idea of how they did it, but the person in charge, Sham Bihari is his name, he requested me to speak on the importance of deity worship. And to assist me, because I have some basic understanding, but not the same as the deity worship minister, the Sringa Kavacha, who happens to be in UK, I sent him a text message and he sent me back like 16 different PDFs because he speaks on this topic a lot. And there are many of the same references that I'm aware of just because. So I'm going to speak on a few of them. And one of the ones, anyone that's attended a deity worship installation that I've participated in, you know the one, it's Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 22. 3:22. So Chapter 3 of Canto 2 is pure devotional service. And after going through meditation on the universal form and meditation on the Supersoul comes meditation on Bhagavan and the engagement in his pure devotional service. So this verse 22 is explicitly addressing the importance of deity worship. The verse itself is saying that those eyes that don't see the form of the deity, they're like the eyes printed on the plumes of a peacock feather, which isn't, I mean, peacock feathers are nice, but they don't see anything. Purport. Especially for the householder devotees. There's a few people in the audience. The path of deity worship is strongly recommended as far as possible. Every householder, by the direction of the spiritual master, must install the deity of Vishnu. Forms like, as it comes a long list, Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, or Sitaram especially, or any other form of the Lord like Nrsimha, Varaha, Gaurnitai, Matsya, Kurma, Shalagram Shila, and many other forms of Lord Vishnu, like another list, Trivikram, Keshava, Achyuta, Vasudeva, Narayana, and Damodar, as recommended in the Vaishnava Tantra or Puranas, and one's family should worship strictly according to the directions and regulations of Archana Vidhi. There we go. Any member of the family who is above 12 years of age should be initiated. By a bona fide spiritual master, and all the members of the household should be engaged in the deity service of the Lord, beginning from 4 a.m. till 10 p.m. No homework either, right? I'll buy into that. By performing Mangalarti, Niranjana, Archana, Puja, Kirtana, Shringara, Bhoga, Vaikali, Sandhya, Aratik, Pata, Bhoga at night, Shayana Arti, etc. Engagement in such deity worship under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master will greatly help the householder to purify their very existence and make rapid progress in spiritual knowledge. Simple theoretical book knowledge is not sufficient for a neophyte devotee. Book knowledge is theoretical, whereas the archana process is practical. Spiritual knowledge must be developed by a combination of theoretical and practical knowledge, and that is the guaranteed way for attainment of spiritual perfection. The training of devotional service for a neophyte devotee completely depends on the expert spiritual master who knows how to lead his disciple to make gradual progress toward the path back home, back to Godhead. One should not become a pseudo-spiritual master as a matter of business to meet one's family expenditures, semicolon. One must be an expert spiritual master to deliver the disciple from the clutches of impending death. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has defined the bona fide spiritual master, and one of the verses in that description reads, Shri Vigrahara Dara Nityanana Shringaratan Mandira Marjanadao Yuktasya Bhaktam Chaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. Sri Vigraha is the archa, or suitable worshipable form of the Lord, and the disciple should be engaged in worshiping the deity regularly. by Shringara, by proper decoration and dressing, as also by Mandira Marjana, the matter of cleansing the temple. The spiritual master teaches the neophyte devotee all these kindly and personally to help him gradually in the realization of the transcendental name, quality, form, etc. of the Lord. He's not done. Paragraph. Only attention engaged in the service of the Lord, especially in the dressing and decorating the temple, accompanied by musical kirtan and spiritual instructions from scriptures, can save the common man from the hellish cinema attractions and rubbish sex songs broadcast everywhere by radio. Who listens to radio anymore? If one is unable to maintain a temple at home, he should go to another's temple, where all the above performances are regularly executed. Visiting the temple of a devotee and looking at the profusely decorated forms of the Lord, well dressed, in a well-decorated, sanctified temple, naturally infuse the mundane mind with spiritual inspiration. And then he speaks about the legs, going to places of temples and holy places, etc., because it's the eyes and the legs that's in the verse. So it's a long description. When I spoke with Nrsinga Kavacha, I said, here's the main points I was thinking to emphasize: the importance of deity worship topic. It's something that our founder Acharya introduced to us according to our nature. Like, in other words, to our nature. In the early days, like 1970, there were different teams of artists engaged in painting for the books, and another set of artists were engaged in making Panchatattva paintings, because he wanted us to begin from the outset in worship. Since we weren't qualified, then he wanted that we worship Panchatattva painting. So it was just, Prabhupada called it Guru Gauranga altar, a little photograph of Prabhupada and a rather large painting that goes on the altar, Guru Gauranga altar. That was what he called it. And then gradually, where there were temples and formal gatherings, then deity worship was introduced. And my memory says there are lots of things that happened in ISKCON that were kind of swift, but deity worship was not so swift, in part because Prabhupada made it very clear, if you make offense when worshiping the deity, you got a problem. So we were like, we don't want a problem. It's not like you can be offensive to Panchatattva, but they're very merciful, and they'll overlook, the unintentional mistakes which happen all the time. And so it happened gradually. And then, it started with, here's how it started. It started with Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. This is my memory. Now, there may be some other Prabhupada disciples with a different memory, but my memory goes like this. In San Francisco, Malati Dasi, bless her heart, she was shopping at a Pier 1 import store in San Francisco. And she saw these little, the little cute Jagannath, about less than an inch tall, and all three carved in one piece of wood. So she thought, oh, this looks Indian. And so she brought them to Prabhupada, and she asked, is this something that devotees should keep And immediately Prabhupada offered us obeisances. And Prabhupada turned to Malati's husband, Shamasundar, and said, I'd like to have Rath Yatra. It was like, kaboom. I'd like to have Rath Yatra. Can you carve Jagannath deities for me? He hadn't ever carved anything with to speak of Jagannath deities. So, sure. Because that's how we did things. We never did lots of things, and then we learned how to do those things. So then, it took some time. Jayananda built the Rath cart, and Jagannath went on the carts, 3 carts. I can't remember if it was 3 carts initially. I think it was 1 cart. In any case, and a permit in Golden Gate Park, and it was, it was spectacular. Hippie Haven. Many people came, and then the deities were installed in the temple. There was a whole other thing, installing the deities in the temple, like having the space to have. So that's the first Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. And went from Panchatattva paintings to Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. And by that time, devotees had learned how to go to India and go to Puri and purchase deities in Jagannath Puri. They brought back different size Jagannath. So slowly is the idea. And then Radha Krishna was also like, whoa, that's very serious. Jagannath is very merciful. Gauratai very merciful. Radha Krishna, better watch, he'll hit you with his flute or something. More serious standards. We had some understanding like that. But we also had an understanding that Prabhupada wanted us to do this for the reasons mentioned, for purification. And because already we were singing the songs by Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, and every morning Mangalarti. So Shri Vigrahara Dana Nityananda, just as he quotes here. And it was important for purification. So slowly, little by little, and then came, the questions of standards. And so he personally trained certain devotees. Yamuna was one, and others to become trained by him. So then they would train others according to how he trained them, and the standards were then shared. And he didn't go into Hari Bhakti Vilas details, but the procedures were identified, and most important. This is just a little sharing. Same for in your home, but in the temples, 2 most important items: punctuality and cleanliness. Punctuality and cleanliness. Because when to help us become regulated, we regulate ourselves with Krishna at the center, or with the deity of Krishna at the center, is ideal. And so that wasn't just regulation, it was punctuality. Like, exactly at such and such o'clock. Ooh, exactly. Now, in your home, depends on what's going on in your home, but as far as possible, those 2 things. And each of those 2 things foster Brahmana or Brahminical quality, and so one is more likely to be eligible to properly worship the deity by Brahminical quality, and those 2 are most important, and the others follow behind those 2. There's others also important, but cleanliness and punctuality. And another additional sharing, a few more additional sharings. One of the things that Prabhupada, along with chanting and deity worship, became book distribution. And he was very enthusiastic about book distribution. Everyone knew how enthusiastic. In different degrees, devotees did. And I was just in Alachua, and there's a devotee named Divyanga. I've never met him, but I've heard his name thousands of times. And he's old, not super crippled or something like that, but he's very old. And every day still he goes to distributes books, as many as he can, as much as he can. He's very dedicated, very gifted. So as book distribution was getting notched up, then the Sankirtan parties started expanding. And that was one of the main, Harinam and book distribution. And then it became primarily book distribution. I mean, that there were some persons that managed to accommodate both. Vishnu Jan Swami was one, because he had this really wonderful gift of kirtan, where he started in Los Angeles, and then so with the book distribution, he got a bus and had deities. You know what the deities were, right? Radha Damodar and Gita Nagari, Radha Damodar were on Vishnu Jan's bus. And so the deities were worshipped on the bus, and then when they come to different venues, primarily it was colleges, but the deities would come out of the bus. They set up a kirtan space, somebody over there with a book table, somebody zooming around and distributing books in the public, and then somebody in the back preparing prasadam to be given out to all the students, because there was just prasadam distribution, book distribution, harinam, and deity worship. And he managed to include the deity worship part. And when that started, it was like Tamal Krishna Maharaj had to get in on the act. And so, he started a bus program. And he buddied up with Vishnu Jan Swami, and no one could do what Vishnu Jan Swami did, because the kirtan part was super special. But, same, Gaurnatai deities on the bus. And somebody's the pujari, somebody's the cook, somebody's the bus driver, and everybody distributed prasadam. Everybody distributed books. And it was like a major contributor to increasing book distribution, crisscrossing the U.S. like anything. So some of us that weren't on that bus program, we were just from temples, and one of the things we saw what was going on, so we got in a van and loaded up a van with books. Then at a certain point, someone asked Prabhupada, should we also have deities when we travel? Because he had given so much emphasis on deity worship. And the answer was, the books are your deities. And so that's been with me since, a long number of years. But books are our deities. And he meant it. So, but it was kind of odd in one sense, but we checked with him and he was okay. We're traveling around the country, and then the books that loaded up the van literally up to the ceiling, were getting less, and they'd arranged for us to receive an air container. If you would know, an air container is the flights of planes have, in addition to luggage, they carry cargo. So one of the containers was books. So LA would fly an air container of books that filled up the van. And we were frugal. So our program was, we slept in the van. And when the van was filled with books, we slept on the books. Now, normally you don't sleep on your deity. But we were frugal. And, the temple presidents that we were working under, they wanted us to be frugal. It was an interesting period of time, the Hare Krishna movement. That was part of my experience directly. So for traveling parties, the books were our deity. But deity worship was in the mix. I'm going to read a little purport. This is a longer purport, but I'll just read a part of the longer purport. The purport is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 7, text number 76. Adi 7:76. The verse is Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, that one. Quoted directly by Krishnadas Kaviraj. And then, a 2.5-page purport by Srila Prabhupada describing the chanting of the holy name with lots of Sanskrit. I mean, there's a whole long section from Bhakti Sandarbha, like a long section of just Sanskrit from Bhakti Sandarbha. And then Prabhupada doesn't just go through the word for word, but he summarizes. I was going to read just 2 paragraphs. Srila Jiva Goswami states that the substance of all Vedic mantras is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Every mantra begins with the prefix Nama Om and eventually addresses by name the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there's 3 main parts to any mantra: this Narma, Pinda, and a prayer at the end. By the supreme will of the Lord, there is a specific potency in each and every mantra chanted by great sages like Narada Muni and other rishis. Chanting of the holy name of the Lord is immediately renovates the transcendental relationship of a living entity with the Supreme Lord. Paragraph. So the whole preceding part is just on the Harinama verse. And then comes the deity worship part. To chant the holy name of the Lord, one need not depend on other paraphernalia, for one can immediately get all the desired results of linking with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It may therefore be questioned, why is there a necessity for initiation or further spiritual activities and devotional service for one who engages in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord? The answer is, although it is correct that when one fully engages in chanting the holy name need not depend on the process of initiation, generally a devotee is addicted to many abominable material habits due to material contamination from his previous life. In order to get quick relief from all these contaminations, it is required that one engage in the worship of the Lord in the temple. The worship of the deity in the temple is essential to reduce one's restlessness due to the contaminations of conditioned life. Thus, Narada, in his Pancharatrika Vidhi, and other great sages have sometimes stressed that since every conditioned soul has a bodily concept of life aimed at sense enjoyment, to restrict this sense enjoyment, the rules and regulations for worshiping the deity in the temple is essential, or are essential. Srila Rupa Goswami has described that the holy name of the Lord can be chanted by liberated souls, but almost all the souls we have to initiate are conditioned. It is advised that one chant the holy name of the Lord without offenses and according to the regular principles, yet, due to their past habits, they violate these rules and regulations. Thus, the regular principles for worship of the deity are also simultaneously essential. Now, our deity worship minister likes this Bhaktivedanta purport. It's not optional. Of course, he has his particular liking and training as well, and that's the worship of the deity. But there's practical implications in deity worship. For example, many of you have, how are we doing with time? 12 o'clock. Could someone just peek inside there and find out when they think they're going to be ready? Somebody that's by the door, ask our host and hostess what time should... How many? 20? Okay, 20. Hold her to it too. Practical and theoretical. That's like this, there's the book knowledge, but then the practical. The practical is the application of the book knowledge. And the practical application of the book knowledge includes, it's not the totality of it as deity worship, but includes deity worship. It's practical. Like, a Brahmin that knows, or somebody that's a scholarly person that knows the teachings, but they don't live it. So they should know, Brahmanas should know the concepts or the theory or the principles, and they should act accordingly. Jnana vijnana astikyam, brahmakarma svabhavajam. So it's part of Brahminical training. It's part of training one to become a civilized person from an uncivilized, the audience that Prabhupada had initially by default, because he came to America and there was a lot of unregulated people, or uncivilized and, not at all even close to human, what to speak of Vaishnavas. So that was the audience, and he had to do a cleanup act so they could be fit to help him spread Krishna consciousness and be good examples of Vaishnavas and bhakti. So the practical application must include, there's the chanting of the holy name, but one of the principles involved in deity worship is the senses, Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam. And each of the senses are engaged in the worship of the deity. Seeing the deity, touching the deity, incense and flowers offered to the deities. And those who are immersed in deity worship, it's the background noise of distraction in the field of the material energy is replaced with as a kind of spontaneous affinity for worship of the deity form of the Lord. Two nice examples. For example, there are different somebodies that send me photographs of the daily worship of Radharaman. Radharaman is a self-manifesting deity in Vrindavan, manifest for the satisfaction and love of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And there's details and details, but one of his disciples was a brahmachari, lifelong brahmachari, and one of his disciples was a grahasta. And the grahasta's children are now, and then the dynasty that's followed from the original one is those who are pujaris. And they're entitled because of birth and qualification and the training. And boy, they plan the deity worship every day in such a spectacular way. Before coming here, I was in Atlanta, Anyway, going back a little bit, one of the places I was before that was in Detroit. And it was just like just a home program gathering. And he was very kind. He didn't interrupt the class, but as soon as class was over, he was right in my face. Maybe your age, just in his teens or early 20s, something like that. And he couldn't stop talking about Radharaman. He was, I don't know what's the right word. He was addicted. And he showed me this cloth. He liked making garments for the deities. He sewed outfits for Radharaman. And so Padmanabha Goswami, who is the eldest Brahmana in Radharaman temple, he happened to visit in America. He happened to meet this young man because the person who he visited knew the young man. And he got an invitation, this young man got an invitation to spend a month making clothes for Radharaman and assisting them in their deity worship for a month, from morning till night, and morning till night, morning till night. And he was still there. I mean, his heart was there. His body was in Detroit, but and on and on. And he was describing when they did their puja, it's a very small space, but he was able to view the puja from the side. There's a little, normally it's not, the public doesn't see from there, but he was allowed to sit there and watch as they were doing their worship, and hear the mantras and the whole procedure. And wow, I don't know that it's a secondary rasa. Wow is a secondary rasa. Astonishment. And the description, and the pujaris are so immersed and absorbed in what they produce each day it's a spectacle. The day that they have the Rath Yatra in Puri is a day that in Vrindavan they place the deity on a cart, not like a real cart, but looked like a cart, just flowers. And there's horses in front, not real horses, but flower horses, and they're pulling the chariot. And there's Radharaman smiling away, dapper like anything, etc., etc., etc. So their absorption, they don't think of anything else. They don't think of anything else. And this young fellow got the bug. He became infected by that virus, the meditation and Radharaman virus. And I know what he's going to be doing the rest of his life, whether he's here or there. He's a Radharaman junkie. He's addicted. And so are the pujaris. And then the people that come, it just can't wait till the curtain opens and to see how is he going to be dressed, and the fragrances that come, and the different all the differences. It's really amazing. And some temples outside of Vrindavan are like that too. And somebody, for Balaram's appearance day, here's, for example, number 2. For Balaram's appearance day, somebody that lives in Alachua sent me 14 photos of Krishna Balaram on Balaram Jayanti, or Balaram Purnima. And there was a theme, as with Radharaman. Their theme was bumblebees. So there are bumblebees on their outfits, bumblebees on the flowers, bumblebees, the items that were cooked were honeycombs and bumblebees landing on the honeycombs, and it was bumblebee loka all over the deity. And, who knows how long it took them to do all that. And, they baked cake that looked like honeycomb. It was cake with the icing on the cake that looked like honeycomb. Like, wow. And how many people were engaged, and what were the people who planned it? And there was immersion in deity worship. And visiting Alachua on Balaram's appearance day was Dita Bandhu. Ooh. So guess what he spoke about? It wasn't about honeycombs either. It's Balaram. So it's the kata is assisted by the worship of the deity, or the deity worship is assisted by the kata. They go well together, just like the chanting of the holy name. Harir Nama, Harir Nama. But when there's need for purifying the mind, Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam. The senses, all the senses are engaged in deity worship. And the senses become purified by engagement with the deity. And then one chants the holy name, it's a fantastic combination. It very quickly can bring on from a crazy position to a not crazy position, a sane position, and quickly awaken the natural attraction for Krishna. So the importance of deity worship. It's now, we have 8 minutes till the bell rings. And the deities will appear. So any comments or questions? Yes, Mukunda? Just go ahead.
Yeah, Maharaj. Admittedly, I don't feel like I have as much traction to deity worship as I would like. And I just maybe a two-part. One part is, as we practice our Krishna consciousness, we focus in on one or two or however many
Limbs
of devotional practice that we are attracted to. Should we expect to become attracted to others more in addition to what we're already attracted to? And then also if, and then I guess the second part is, how do I become attracted more to deity
Well,
worship?
the answer to the first question is, it's not that you're expected to, but rather it's common. There's the entry, the doorway, and some people it's cooking, and some people it's different things. Some, like Jayananda, just service. Just say the word service, or wave a flag that doesn't even say the word. He's there doing service. He loves service. And anything. So, different persons have different propensities, yes. And is it expected? Because that's your question. But it's common, but it's not like there's an expectation to become very expert in one thing, and that's sufficient. But as that expert in one thing awakens, then doors start to open that weren't open before, besides propensity. Whatever those other things might be, hearing, starting, one of the foremost is hearing, so hearing scripture or hearing kata, along with whatever are the other things that one likes. And then so it's natural, but not expected. And, the second question, in order to develop what to do, something where there isn't an attraction, particularly for deity worship. Well, my answer to how-to questions, but it's perfectly appropriate. You associate with those that have that affinity. a sadhu sangha. So some persons have that particular affinity. And in temple life, the deity is at the center. Now, in your home life, you're not at the temple, you're in your home. So if you can make your home like a temple, that's for a grahastha, that's particularly recommended. And then, an impetus is for purification. It's not difficult to answer the question, am I fully purified yet? That's an easy one to answer. So then what's something that can help me become more fully purified? Purified the mind and senses, engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses. Besides that which I like, what does he like? And, it covers all the senses. Deity worship. But the sadhu sangha, purposefully, I went to the Chicago temple, Kishori temple, for Balaram's appearance day. And I'll report to you, that the kirtan was the standard Sunila Madhava-led kirtan. It was a nice kirtan, the arti. And I was surprised that people didn't just come for their Gaur Arti and then go home. More people and more people. The temple room was full for the class. And apparently they're used to short, I'm just elaborating a little bit. Apparently they're used to shorter classes. I'm used to a little bit longer classes. So I'm looking at the person who's the MC and, am I going over time? And he's... But the place was packed. There's packed out here, but to get to the temple from the, I was in Naperville seeing a doctor. It took forever and a day just to get to the temple. Winding streets, and it's like to go to the temple is the trek. It's a major thing, and the temple was packed. Now maybe some percentage. We can take a guess and see how many people were there because of prasadam. Probably a good number, but that's okay. Prasadam is part of the package. And prasadam is because it's offered to the deity, it becomes prasadam, not just... So they're indirectly, they're taking prasadam, they're getting the benefit of the deity worship, the cooks and the pujaris that make the offering. So slowly. People become purified. So back to your question, what can I do to increase my affinity for deity worship in particular, but that part of, it's one of the 9 processes, and it's emphasized in a number of places. If you like, I can send you the 10, 12 documents that Nrsimha Kavacha immediately, like I said, I'm asked to speak on this. Can you help me? Then he said a number of things for 15 minutes, and then he said, I'll send you some documents, and they just ping, ping, ping. So there is inspiration. It's conceptual, but then there's theory and practice in association with those that get it. There's certain devotees that really get it. His wife is one of those persons who really gets it. Neela Manjari really gets it. Or, there's other persons that really get it. Hey, you're 3 minutes early. Sri Radhika, you want to say something? No? Back here. Last question back there. And then we're going to go forward.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
I go.
Thank you for the class today as well as yesterday for Balaram Purnima. One thing that was coming up for me is sometimes I like to see the deity very beautifully dressed, and a thought came up to me. Pardon? Sometimes. And the thought came up to me that, is this sense gratification? Because I want to see the deities beautifully dressed. So that's one question. And then I have another question.
Well, it depends. Yes or no. It depends.
Okay.
Because Krishna is at the center, even if it's yes, it's purification is going to happen. Even if. So then it's a mix. It's not just only one, it's a mix, and the mix brings purification. So keep going. Even if.
So, okay. So basically keeping Krishna's comfort in the center would be the way to approach treating Krishna as a person, is my understanding, so that I can basically not treat that as sense gratification. Is that correct?
I invite you, not challenge you. Try for 1 week, go online and check out how Radha-Ramana are dressed. And you'll say, wow, every day. It's really spectacular. And you'll look forward to it. And is that sense gratification? It's probably a mix because it's not pure bhakti, because we're not there yet. But, wow. Go ahead, next.
Maybe I'm paraphrasing this a little absurdly, but at least the way I was understanding, you're kind of indicating, hey, maybe if I am a little bit crazy, then the deity worship can help purify me. But it seems a little, I would not want to be a crazy person worshipping the deity.
Don't worry, they won't become contaminated by your craziness.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Supremely pure. Okay, so we're going to begin Arti. And someone has a plan who's going to be the kirtan singer and all of that. And just a request, mridanga playing should be a little gentler. This kirtan when you were like revved up and Kunda was going, go, go, and a little more gentle for this kind of space. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Okay. Jaya Nimai Nitai 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 Jaya निमाय निताय जय निमाय निताय नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल गौर निताय गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल
Jayo Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Astatarasatasi Simadas Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitya Leela Pravishna Om Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Astatarasatasi Simad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind Ki, his confounder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Sakaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Brindavan Dham Ki, Shri Mayapur Navadeep Dham Ki, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Jamuna Mai Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Brihat Mridanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki, Shri Nitai Gauranatha Raja Ki, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki, Nitai Gaura Pimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. The Shringa prayers.
Namaste Nara Simhaya Namaste Nara Simhaya Pralada Lada Daine Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha Shilatankana Kalaye Hito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hidaye Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hidaye Narsimha Narasimha Madim Sharana Prapade Tava Kara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Shingam Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanu Bingam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagat Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Avakara Kamala Hare Naka Abhuta Shinga Daita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhenga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Narsimha Dev Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Narsimha Dev Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narsimha Dev Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Narsimha Dev Jaya Palamara Jaya Palamara Jaya Palamara Jaya Palamara Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Narasimha Dev Bhagwan ki Jai Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Nitai Gaura Prem